Welcome back, everyone. And are you ready? Are you ready to build some great robotic parts? I will showcase today how easy it is to do it with FreeCAD. Yes, FreeCAD, that admirable product that is the greatest thing since sliced bread, at least, well, as far as I'm concerned. Um, there's great tools out there for building 3D products, for 3D printers. But I love this one because you could basically create just about anything. And in this case, I'll show you how simple it is. Yes, it is so simple to create a object that you could import to your 3D printer. And in this case, I'm going to take robotics, for instance. So just a couple of robotics parts, pieces that could be used for joints. Of course, they're more like brackets. Um, but it is so insanely simplistic, and at the same time you could also change the sizes of it. So basically, what I will provide you with is the ability to also see that you could change the parameters of just about any piece that you create. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into this. So here I have a list, which is basically a random list that I created. And essentially, this will be used for basically just creating the product. So let me show you how this works. I'll just open FreeCAD. And here I've got a couple of models that I've already created. So this here is a planetary mount. As you could see, it's got holes to enter basically different type of screws. The size are on the left hand side, so you could see that you could basically change the bolt diameter, the bolt count. So we've got 6. This is all in millimeters, so we're using the metric system here. And just about everything can be changed. The edge margins, outer diameters, the depth, the thickness, the center circle. So all of this can be changed, and as you can see, this is something that you can use to mount for robotics. Something else that I've created, this is called a strain clamp, and you've got the sizes as well. Let me just rotate this so you could see. Let's center it. So this is a strain clamp. Again, everything can be changed: height, width, length, margins, the grooves, the hole diameters. Something else that I created is a L bracket. So this is pretty cool. You'll recognize this. This is used a lot in robotics. Let me just center this. And another thing that I've created was the clevis yoke. So basically, let's center it. And again, on the left-hand side, all the parameters for this product, this part can be changed, including the diameter of the holes, the length, the width. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to choose essentially a part that I want to design. So let's choose a gearbox housing. I'll go to Visual Studio Code. Let's create for a... Now, based on my prompts, going back and forth, it's already aware of the fact that I'm using Python, so I need a Python script. So now we're going to get Python code for a gearbox housing. If you need more information as to how this works, just revert back to one of my previous episodes where I explain how to connect everything, including getting a Gen AI working into the VS Code. So here we are, just waiting for the Python code. And really, you don't need a lot of Python. Basically, Python knowledge. Essentially, it does everything for you today. Gen AI will create the entire code, and in this case, it is a code that not only provides us with the product, but at the same time, it provides us with the parameters to change everything about that particular model. While we wait for that, oh, and here we go. Now here's my suggestion. Once you do get the code, copy and paste it in a .txt file. That is because you need to clean things up a bit. You might get some dirty parts of the code. So I'm just gonna copy and I'm gonna paste it in bedit. And again, this is just to clean things up. Whoops. Now that we have the code, we'll recopy it. And this should get rid of anything that might cause some issues with the code running. So we have it copied. And now what we do is in FreeCAD, we're going to go to macro. And in macro, we'll click on macros. We're going to click on create. And in this case, we're going to create our design, which is, let's call it attachment. And we'll run it. So it's called gearbox housing. Let's double click and let's get rid of the clevis yoke. And here is our gearbox housing. And if we click on it again, we could see the data. So we've got the body height, so we could change height, we could change length, with the bold circle diameter. So that would be, let me just center it again, and let's rotate this. So this is the bolt circle diameter, which is in the middle. The bolt count, so we've got a couple of bolts around. So we've got 6. Let's go back to data. So we've got 6 bolt counts. The bolt hole diameter is 6.6 millimeter. I believe that's the middle one. And basically you could just experiment by changing just about anything you need. You can even change the wall thickness, which is interesting. So basically anything about this part here can be changed. Let's choose another part to create, and in this case let's choose something called a bellows or a shaft coupling clamp. So here, create for a shaft coupling clamp. Let's run this. I'm going to have all the details available in my GitHub, on my GitHub page. So no worries. I will provide you instructions how to basically create these using prompts. And as you can see, it is actually quite simple, and it's a lot of fun. Also, where you can just about create anything you want, and literally, I mean anything. Basically, just your imagination is what you would normally focus on, as well as just focusing on what it is that you want to build from start to finish, basically coming up with an entire plan, step by step, understanding what your design should be like, and the rest, well, FreeCAD is here to help you. And let's see if it is done. It's still thinking. So ideally, the tools that you need is Visual Studio. You need to integrate a Gen AI into your Visual Studio. Looks like it is ready. You integrate the Gen AI into your Visual Studio, and that will give you code. By the way, Python is not the only language. It will pretty much provide you code in any type of language that you need, whether it's Java, JavaScript, C++, C. You could just about get any type of language, but for FreeCAD, you're going to need Python. And now that we have all of our info here, let's copy it. Again, we're going to deposit this into our text, clean things up. Now let's copy paste it again into FreeCAD. I'll copy this, go to our FreeCAD, and go to macros. I'll just call it anything. And here we go. Now we paste the code. Let's run it. We could see that the clamp coupling is there now. Let's double click. Let's get rid of the gear housing. Let's put that out of the way. And here you go. let me center it. So the fit all at the top, just click fit all at the center top. And here we go. We could just go ahead and manipulate this. And once again, we see that on the left-hand side, we have the option to change just about anything that we want about this particular part. Another thing that is pretty cool, let me show you. If we go to 3D printing tools, we can I think I'll just save the file. I think it may be some other options. Okay, so you could go to 3D tools, and the only thing is make sure at the bottom that you have removed the view part. So in 3D printing tools, you could change the colors. We have some other options that we could use that I've seen, and I believe it may be maybe under surface. No. Where what I'm trying to do is go to, by the way, if you want, you could add fasteners. So we have a stud fastener. So you could also, you have lots of other tools that you can use. It was under material. Let me get rid of the, so under materials, you do have the option to choose different materials. I'm not sure if we could use it for this particular object, but let's see. And yes, we can. We could basically just click on that left side sphere, and let's see if we could choose some different materials. So there is aluminum, there's brass. Let's click on brass. So the way to work this one out is just right click, and for the material workbench, it looks like the way it works is you simply, you right click and then you choose material, and you're going to get this on the left side where you could change the material for it. So we have aluminum, concrete. Steel. I think some of them work, but others, here I've chosen wood, generic. There's something called texture appearance. And yeah, lots of different options that you can play with. You can basically add gears as well. So there is a gear workbench. The reason I'm showing you the workbenches here is because in the next episode, I'm actually going to show you how to create your own workbench. And we're going to do that with some robotic parts as an example. So basically some of the more common used robotic parts. And yes, you can create your own workbench. So give it a name and also how to add different symbols. And basically it'll be part of the list here. Oh, by the way, there's a workbench called guitar as well. So you can add guitars. So here's a guitar. By the way, most of these workbenches I'm not familiar with. It's something that I need to play with. You could essentially bring those in from Add-on Manager. So you click on Add-on Manager and you could choose. There's lots and lots of workbenches that you can import and use. They provide you different tools. So I do hope that you enjoyed this episode and basically that you're a little more familiar with how FreeCAD works. You don't need that much knowledge for Python. Basically, you probably need none whatsoever, but you do need to understand how things basically connect together, such as how to add Gen AI into VS and how to generate using prompts properly to ask for the Python code that can provide you with the object that you need in order to then import that Python code into FreeCAD and be able to work with it. Not a difficult setup essentially, but it is once you get it all done and set up, it's actually very fast to prototype any type of part that you need, and then go ahead and transfer that design into your 3D printer. And basically, the sky's the limit what you can create. I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please do like and subscribe. I always appreciate it. And at the same time, you'll be able to see all my upcoming episodes. The next episode, I'm going to show you how to create your own workbench with a couple of examples for parts that I'm going to add into my example workbench, where you could create your own for, let's say, robotics, for instance. That way, any type of object that you need, it'll just be handy. You just click on it and you can work from there. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.